let me first of all thank my friend Mr. Shripal who got me here. And what actually excites me when I see all of you, especially the students, the only one change that I want to do is Shripal wrote the man behind Jio success. I am not the man behind Jio success. Behind Jio, if at all you call one man who is behind Jio success, it is one and the only one, Shri Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani. My role is a bit of a catalyst. And in fact, I want all of you to play the role of a catalyst because this is one of the roles which many people do not take, right? Everybody wants to be before the scene, try to be behind the scene, act as a catalyst, and I'm sure you can build an organization and you can actually give a lot to the new generation. Traffic dividend present a massive opportunity for India. Together we will be successful in making this decade India's decade. So the next decade is going to become India's decade. So what is a major shift that is happening from 2007 to 2021? We are moving from some of the industries like petroleum, petrochemicals or consumer market to only one sector, which is technology. Technology is the need of the hour. Technology is the game of the hour. And I will show you how finance people can actually embrace technology. Right? 13 startups entering the $1 billion club within 3 months of 2022. 13 unicorn $1 billion club में पहुंच गए हैं just in 3 months of 2022. But what is important is $83 billion is a funding raised by 30 new unicorns in 2022. Now that is what is extremely important. So what it really shows is, and that is a change that has happened. पहले आप क्या सुनते थे? You used to hear Tatas, you used to hear Birlas, you used to hear Reliance. But now every 8 days you are actually getting a unicorn. And this is the change that has happened. The names who were never heard of are actually emerging. And therefore, there's an opportunity for each one of you who is sitting here to become in this particular platform. Moving on, so their marks, ये कैसे संभव हुआ? ये कैसे possible हुआ? ये possible हुआ because of digital revolution in India. But this is such a big foundation that has been laid in the country. In my opinion, these unicorns could not have gone if this digital revolution was not there. And therefore, this digital revolution is so very important. And let's see what this digital revolution is all about. What happened when Jio came? So, following Jio's launch in 2016, data prices in India have seen a sharp decline, isn't it? So, if you remember, पहले data कितने पे मिलता था? Any guesses? 250 is a normal guess. जबकि I think when we started, 250 rupees per GB में सिर्फ पहली GB मिलती थी. Subsequent GB were available if you wanted to use more. You used to get it 1250 rupees. So we started our journey from 269 and see where we have gone. It is 6.7 rupees. This is all that costs you for data. And I'm sure this requires a clap from all of you because this has happened in India. This has been made possible by India. And this has been made possible by a company called Reliance, called Jio in India. And that is why it is so very important. So what actually ये जो डेटा के prices कम हुए, इससे क्या हुआ? High technological awareness is one, vibrant smartphone market was second, strong adoption, and this coupled with access to affordable data in urban and rural areas. So it was not only limited to urban areas, it actually went and penetrated beyond urban areas to the rural areas also. This actually created the foundation of a digital society, and that is why you see the birth of all the unicorns in the country. The decline in prices was met by a 60x increase in overall data consumption. So, Shripal, if you see the data consumption on the left hand side, it was 164 petabyte And in 2020, I've just taken the data of December 2020, I've not updated up to now because that will be shown after the financial year is over. But it has actually increased to 60 times from 164 petabyte to 9,762 petabyte. That shows the power of country, and this has been made possible because all of you are using mobile phones, all of you are using internet, all of you are watching all kind of content. The internet that has made the jump 60 times from 2015 to 2020. So अगर आप कुछ अच्छा काम करेंगे तो obviously recognition तो मिलना ही चाहिए. तो recognition कैसे मिला? Look here. So in less than 5 years, this is where Jio is. It is among the top 5 brands of the world. Not only this, it is among the top 5 valuable companies in India. So Reliance is already there, but Jio is there on its own. So obviously, every father wants the child to grow up, right? The child is actually grown up, right? And not only the child is grown up, the child is also paying some of the debts that father taken for the son, right? So that is a change that has happened over the last few years. Small story in that, and this is a real story. Many of them who are from the small towns and villages, by the way, internet is available there and they are doing their work. They said, very simple, sir, या तो हमें यही work from home करने दीजिए, or otherwise we'll resign and go. So imagine the change that has happened. What the change that has happened is now people are wanting to work from the small towns and villages, and they feel software is one industry where you can actually work from home, because all you have to do is create softwares, create codes, which for that you really do not require an office to be there. You can actually do it well from home, and it is very easy to measure productivity also. What these children are gaining out of that, imagine. They are gaining in terms of the cost that they have to spend. If at all they have to come to Mumbai, and if they have to buy a flat there or even share a flat, the cost of living is very, very high, right? Say for example, they are spending around 40 to 50,000 rupees per month. That 40 to 50,000 rupees is saved if they are working from home, isn't it? So that's the change that has happened. And more so, they are with their parents, right? They are staying with the parents, they are working from home, they are giving all the productivity. So what is the reason that they have to come back? So that makes sense. So we said, okay, fine. If you want to work from home, you continue to work from home. अब आप देखिए, ये है नया भारत, ये है नया India, and this particular सोच, this particular thought, if the entrepreneurs have, this is the only way that the country can be taken to 5 trillion economy. Why? Because now you do not have to put pressure on metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, or Bangalore. You can actually have people working from maybe Manali or those kind of places and still contribute to the country, contribute to wealth of the country. Now, that particular change, and these are the kind of changes that I am telling you we have to think about. If we really want to make the best of the resources in India, we have to actually think in those directions. Digital India, taking the nation one. When does the success comes? Very important slide. I want this particular slide to be taken by all of you. When does the success come? The success in any country can come if the government partners with the entrepreneurs. They don't have to become entrepreneurs. That is not their cup of tea. They just have to promote entrepreneurship. And this was done when the Digital India mission was taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And see the way he has implemented. I personally believe the country or the government has implemented better than what even the entrepreneurs could have done. Now look at, on the left hand side, top is Jam Trinity to plug leakages in the government subsidiaries. So you have Aadhaar card, you have Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, you have mobile phone. Down below, you have something like DigiLocker, you have eKYC, and you have e-system available. On the right hand side, you have something like M-Government, Kranti or DigiSeva, and below you have Rupiah or Bhim, which is to bridge the digital and economic divide using online delivery of services. So देखिए ये पूरा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का बेस डिजिटल बेस है जो गवर्नमेंट ने बनाया है और गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत सक्सेसफुली बनाया है. If you really ask about Aadhaar card, that is an example which is given not only in India but across the world. Even your simple platform like Owen platform. Now, if you ask about Owen platform, it is one of the best platform in the world. 100 and so many vaccinations have already happened. And in my opinion, I think most of you would have been vaccinated. जब आप vaccination के लिए गए थे, immediately आपका certificate निकल आया. You go to US, it is not possible. वहाँ handwritten होता है, right? So where we have gone in terms of digitization and where the other countries are in terms of digitization, this has happened only in India, and this has happened because of the will of the government. This has happened because of one man, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now I take to the next section. जब ये digitization हो गया, digital revolution हो गया, ultimately क्या? Ultimately इससे business model evolve होती है. अब आप देखो इससे business model कैसे evolve होती है. One of my favorite slide, I am sure you know many of you would have seen this on LinkedIn and other social platform also, but look it through my eyes. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicle. Facebook, the world's most popular media content, creates no content. Amazon, the most valuable retailer, has limited physical stores. अब उसने बनाने शुरू कर दिए because of the competition again from Reliance. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. ये है आज का business model, right? And ये कैसे संभव हुआ? अब इसको financial term में, all of you are finance guys, अब इसको financial term में convert करते हैं. If you see on the right hand side, AT&T, let's start from the Uber one. Uber is $65 billion, right? Facebook is $607 billion. Amazon is $1,616 billion. Airbnb is $105 billion. जिनके पास कोई physical asset नहीं है, वो पैसा कमा रहे हैं. जिनके पास physical asset है, वो बेचारे बैठे हैं. आप देखिए, Hilton is only $40 billion and Airbnb is $105 billion. This is the power of digitization. You want to embrace digitization now? Say yes. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. So everybody would like to embrace digitization because that has transformed everyone's life. Anyone can become a merchant. That's what Amazon says. Anyone can become a taxi driver. That's what Uber says. Anyone can be a journalist. That's what Twitter says. Anyone can be a director. That is what YouTube says. Anybody can be a hotel owner. That's what Airbnb says. And anybody can learn. That's what Wikipedia is all about. So what is the new capital? The new capital is knowledge. अब आपको पैसा नहीं चाहिए, आपका नया capital knowledge है. What is the Indian story? The digital revolution in India has paved the way for India entrepreneurs. Need identification plus problem solving is the unique India business model. आपको सिर्फ क्या करना है? आपको problem identify करनी है. उस problem का digital solution निकालना है. उस solution को application में convert करना है. थोड़ी सी marketing करनी है और आप $1 million कमा लेते हैं. In fact, आप ये काम करो जो मैं बताता हूँ. And if you're successful, you will earn millions of dollars. Billions of dollars शायद थोड़ा सा काम करना पड़ेगा जहाँ शिपाल करते हैं, but millions of dollars तो कमा ही लेंगे. And believe me, in 2.5 years, ये सिर्फ COVID time की बता रहा हूँ. After COVID times, at least there are 2 students who have called me up and said, "Sir, I am now $10 million. Not gone for job. He has gone for this. He has identified a problem. He has got a solution for this problem digitally, and he has earned $10 million. We'll be able to get venture capitalists. We'll be able to draw money, and I'm sure you have a bigger potential to become $1 million and then later on $1 billion. than anybody else. So people who say finance, I call them finance always has an edge above everybody because they can actually hire technical, get money, build money, grow money and become multimillionaires and multimillionaires. By the way, this is how now the dollars are coming. और उसके underlying drivers अगर आप देखें, demographic dividend, market size, political will, ये तीनों जरूरी थे. Access to internet, emergence of startup hub, accelerator program. This is the actual result. Somebody I think was talking about opportunities. क्या opportunities है? I was just thinking and smiling because I have got a slide for that. Look at those opportunities, and you keep counting. By the way, this is only illustrative. This is not exhaustive. Look at the opportunities we have. You can go to B2B e-commerce. You can actually play the role of aggregator in consumer brands. You can go to ad tech, mobile ads. You can go for content, news or lock screen. You can go for D2C, personal care. You can go for e-commerce, groceries, baby care, eyewear, pharmacy, social commerce. You can go for edtech. अगर आपको gaming अच्छा लगता है, you can even go for gaming. The list doesn't end here. You can go for cryptocurrency. I heard the youngsters are very fond of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You can actually go for cryptocurrency. अगर आपको health अच्छी लगती है, you can go for health tech. You can go for health tech. अगर खाना अच्छा लगता है, you can go for food tech. अगर घूमना अच्छा लगता है, you can go for logistics services. खाली अगर इंटरनेट चलाना अच्छा लगता है, व्हाट्सएप अच्छा लगता है, you can go for social media messaging. और अगर आपको कार या गाड़ियों का अच्छा शौक है, you can go for marketplace, lending or handyman used cars. You can become a no broker for prop tech. और अगर सॉफ्टवेयर अच्छा लगता है, इसको मैंने लास्ट में लिया क्योंकि फाइनेंस सेशन था. If you want to go for software as a service, you can go for SaaS. So Mahavir, is there any dirt? This is only illustrative. This is not exhaustive. So look at the opportunities that we have. And the last one is Fintech, which is very core to us, which is B2B payment, brokerage, credit card, insurance, payment gateway, wallet, POS. So the list is endless. I was in Arcom, and obviously this I'm talking around 20 years back. But then at that particular point of time also my boss used to take me to all the meetings that MBA would use to conduct. And in one of such meetings, Arcom just shuru hi hua tha, and the marketing team was all sitting there and was just saying that MBA was asking what would you do or kaise aap penetrate karoge market. So they were showing that उस समय Airtel के around 20 million customers थे. They said, in 3 or 4 months we will get 10 million customers, and this is how we will start growing. MDA said one sentence which was actually a game changer for me and really learning for me. उस समय country की population 800 million थी. He said, you guys are worried about 20 million. What about those 780 millions which has not been explored? And everybody was speechless. So generally हम क्या करते हैं? हम उसी को देखते हैं जो आसपास available है. हम उसको नहीं देखते जो आसपास available नहीं है. There's a big marketplace. There's opportunity everywhere. But we only are happy to see कि अगर महावीर जैन compliance कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी जरा compliance करके देखूं. अगर X accountancy कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी जरा करके देखूं. You have to explore outside. And this is something which I did. सबको ऑडिट करना है, सबको बैलेंस शीट बनानी है, सबको ट्रायल बैलेंस बनाना है, and then they keep fighting with each other. In 2017, I got an opportunity to head one of the national convention of CMA, and I gave them this particular example of CMDA. And I told them, instead of going after accountancy and trying to get into the space that is already taken by CA, why don't you look for some other space? And I said, one of the space that is available is GST. GST is going to come. You explore GST. The government would like all of you to promote GST because it is going to be an online platform. This has got a commercial, it will have a lot of commercial and litigation issues. It will have implementation issue. If you are really able to help government in doing that, you actually create a space for yourself. And let me tell you, 5 years down the line, in 2022, very recently, last month, when I was awarded Best CMA CFO by Mr. Piyush Goyal. Mr. Piyush Goyal actually recognized the importance and the contribution made by the CMA Institute in promoting and implementing GST. Try to take example which are very close to you. सब लोग मीशो जानते हैं, बच्चे तो and youngsters तो definitely मीशो जानते हैं, isn't it? Now let's see what Meesho has done. 2 graduates built a social commerce platform that generated approximately 800 crores of revenue in financial year 2021. It deals with retail distribution. It allows small retail merchants and individuals to associate and productively sell their product through different social media platforms. It focuses on creating a marketplace enabling everyone can start a business without investment, and especially focuses on helping the women of India becoming entrepreneurs. And this is the reason why Meesho example is so close to my heart. It has got the entire recipe, and look at the growth. This is a reported valuation. US 5 billion, revenue 800 crores, registered resellers are 2.6 million, and 70% women. A huge clap for the women of the country. This has been making more than rupees 15k per month with the application. So there's no dearth of unemployment even for the women folk who are actually there in the rural or the small town areas. They have made it possible. They have made it big, and Meesho has become big because of that. My second example, 13, Red Digital was acquired by Gozo, giving enough funds to fuel Dream11. So Dream11 के पास पैसा आ गया. In 2013, it launched the premium fantasy sports with approximately 10% of users paying for premium leagues. And 2014, it raised its first Series A fund, and it raised 7 more rounds of funding between 2014 to 2021. And in 2019, it enters the Unicorn Club, and 2021, it raised another 840 million in November 2021. Now that tells you 2 things. Number one, which I said, कि आप गेमिंग से भी पैसा कमा सकते हैं. But दूसरी important चीज है कि do not get bogged down by failures. Generally, what we do is, whenever we fail, we get bogged down. ये देखिए इसने कितना स्मार्ट काम किया. उसने अपनी ड्रीम को नहीं छोड़ा. His dream was Dream11. Dream11 के लिए एक Red Digital बनाई. Red Digital से पैसा कमाया. Dream11 को फंड किया, and ultimately Dream11 को सक्सेसफुल किया. And what has happened is now it is US $8 billion. ये बिलियंस में बात होती है, right? So US $8 billion and 2,708 crores is a revenue in 2021, 327 crores is a profit, and 140 million registered users on the platform. And who says gaming is not paying? Gaming is also paying, right? The third example, again drawn by all of you. While everybody talks about MasterCard and Visa, bade HDFC card, ICICI card, somebody came up with something called as slice cards. And tell me, raise your hand, how many of you use slice cards? Look here. So now it is actually disrupting credit card landscape. And why it is doing? Because it gives you some solutions. And look at the solutions. Credit card aimed at tech-savvy young professionals, hassle-free payment with 0 fees, option to convert payments to EMIs sliced into 3 installments. It is started by targeting student, early-age business associate, freelancers and startup. Now advanced analytics-based evolution of user profile for eligibility. Next-gen interactive app interface. ये आपको बताता है कि आपके कितने खर्चे हो गए हैं, how is your expenditure pattern, आप गेमिंग पे कितना यूज कर रहे हैं, आप फूड पे कितना यूज कर रहे हैं, तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं ये बताता है कि ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. And this is why it has actually created disruption. And what kind of disruption? 35 crores revenue, in financial year 21, user base of 5 million, average age of customer is only 22 years, and it is developing good credit habits. And what do we learn from this? He says we don't have to educate them how to navigate the app. They want simplicity and transparency, which according to them the slice provides. So आपने क्या किया? आप डरे नहीं कि HDFC कार्ड है, ICICI कार्ड है. You innovated. You understood the psyche of the customer. That means आपने क्या किया? आपने problem identify की, उस problem का solution निकाला, and you have been able to earn again millions of dollars, right? I would end the example with my favorite, because I also wrote in one of the LinkedIn message, my presentations will never be complete without this example. And what is this example? This example is my favorite, Baiju. Now look at Baiju's story. I don't have to explain you 2008 when it started coaching for finance people ke liye. So volatility. So how does you correlate volatility to finance, guys? To balance available market information and volatile trends. जब trends volatile होते हैं, information को कैसे present करना है, that is where the finance people have to contribute. Uncertainty is where the user's predictive analysis using it to multiple sources. Complexity आप कैसे handle करते हैं to absorb complexity at the back end, because back end में आपको बहुत data churning करनी पड़ती है, and free the customer facing front end to serve the customer. By the way, this happened with me when I was setting up Jio's finance department, and MBA told me that because Reliance is a manufacturing company, it is based at various units which are very structured. Now this is going to be diversified. Ensure your finance department should not be a copy paste of RIL finance department. To the face of advancing technology and analytics. By the way, I saw analytics somewhere down there also. 50% of the finance leaders rate emerging technology and big data as the biggest disruptor to the business. The CMA this year, one of the CMA has got a placement of some 27 or 28 lakhs rupees, right? And this is one of the highest placement, one can think, because generally they were given some 7, 8 or maybe 10 lakhs. Even if you were a rank holder, the changes happened because they introduced a course which was known as data analytics, and because they're proficient in data analytics, their total CTC has gone up from 8 to 10 lakhs to 27, 28 lakhs. This is what data analytics can make the difference. So that is what is your next gen finance function. I will actually quickly move on to some of those important things that I want to say. If at all you want to learn more of it, in fact, this is a new scope of internal audit team. When I called my internal auditor in my functional review meetings, the internal auditor was flabbergasted. He said, "Sir, आप मुझे functional review meeting में बुला रहे हैं, यानी आपकी जो भी weaknesses है, आप तो मुझे पहले ही बता देंगे." I said, इसीलिए आपको बुला रहे हैं, so that you understand the weakness and you correct the weakness. You help the organization to correct the weaknesses rather than only pinpointing the weaknesses, and that is what the constructive role the internal auditors can play in. This is the new role of internal auditor, and thanks to that, the internal auditor, Mr. Ganesh Subramaniam, he actually captured all the awards that were given by internal audit in this particular area. This is the favorite area of Shripal, blockchain. Blockchain is introduce advanced record keeping technology to increase data security, shorten transaction cycle, and eliminate the need for record. Robotic process automation can be applied in closing and reconciling subsidiary ledgers, processing journal entries, creating POs, and preparing management report. You can have cognitive, you can have machine learning, you have cloud technologies, you can have natural language processing. So all that is possible for all of you, finance and automation. And this is where the new finance is actually going towards. Look at the areas. Now, I'll take some time on this. Analytical capabilities to shift from descriptive to prescriptive you actually create data lakes. पहले क्या होता था कि हम सिर्फ Excel में data churn करते थे. Now you don't have to work on Excel. You can actually have data lakes, and data lakes are given queries. Through those queries, you can get as much of information as you want. You apply machine learning and artificial intelligence to that, and then you can get all the information. These are the various learnings from my professional journey. Education is the greatest blessing. This is what I believe. You should have risk-taking mindset is the second thing. Play on your strength. सबकी हर चीज की strength नहीं होती. आपने मैचेस में देखा होगा कोई अच्छा बॉलर होता है, कोई अच्छा बैट्समैन होता है. Somebody is not a good bowler or a batsman, but he is a good wicket keeper. Somebody is an average, wicket keeper, average batting and bowler. For execution and work relentlessly to exceed your own expectation. Ownership is extremely important. At the end of the day, there should be deep satisfaction that you have added value to the company. Focus on performance, making winning a habit, but be indifferent to the outcome, whether it is win or loss. Eye on detail is extremely important for giant organization, because giant organizations stakes are high and mistakes can be fatal. Discipline, time is the essence, and discipline is the key for every single task. Teamwork is, I don't have to tell you that individual brilliance only will battle. It is the teamwork which ultimately wins war. And finally, be a finisher. Your performance will not be gauged by how many jobs you have undertaken, but by how many jobs you have completed. And that gets me to the end of my presentation. The world is going to be transformed by the digital first revolution, with almost every activity in the physical world can now be digitized or be digitally enabled, enriched and transformed from none other than Mukesh Bhai Ambani. Thank you very much.